What's going on, you guys? Mr. Woody1235 back here finally to do this Q&A. This video is about a week later than I anticipated. I really only have like a day out of the week to do videos. So the day that I had last week, I just felt so sick. Anxiety is a huge problem for me, like it is for a whole lot of people out there in the world. So I'm constantly dealing with like this whole thing about like I think I'm going to die a whole lot. I have like really bad health anxiety, and I was just having one of my episodes the day that I had to do this last week. So I just didn't get around to it, sadly. But the rest of the time is filled with school and work, obviously, and then my girlfriend, my fiance, I guess I should say now, not used to that yet. Comes and lives with me basically the rest of the days of the week, just because it makes sense for her with her job and stuff like that. So, I mean, whatever. Sorry this is a bit late, but hey, more of you are going to have your questions answered now that otherwise wouldn't be answered if you didn't post soon enough. So, there you go. You win. I got about like 52 questions here, so this is going to take a while. Get some popcorn. Get some drink. I love long videos. I love watching The Amazing Atheist. He's been uploading like really long Q&A answers a whole lot lately, and I love those videos. One of them was almost 2 hours long. Yeah, that was a fun day. I don't know why. They're just really interesting to me. So, just want to hop aboard that train. Some people might not agree. Whatever, open up another tab. Listen while you're browsing other things. Get on 4chan, that's what I do. I like to go and troll on B. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. I hope this is at the right angle. Okay, first question. PS4, Xbox One, or Wii U? PS4. For sure. I love my PS4. I've been playing The Last of Us, Infamous Second Son, a little bit of Battlefield 4, Watch Dogs. I love it, man. The exclusives are so much better for me, personally. I just feel like Xbox, they got that Master Chief Collection coming out. I've been seeing a whole lot of arguments on this thing. Xbox is still parading around Halo like it's the king of shit, and while I do think it's kind of fun, especially when I play it at my friend's house and stuff like that, since I've always been a PlayStation guy, I've never really played Halo, ever. I've just never had an Xbox, because I prefer the exclusives on a PlayStation better. I love Jak and Daxter. I love Infamous. I love The Last of Us. Those games, those games are so much better to me than anything Halo, And I just don't care that much about Xbox exclusives, honestly. That Sunset Overdrive looks kind of fun. That's coming out for it in that bundle or whatever, but I'm more interested in the Order 1886 because I think it looks a little bit more original. And I don't know. I don't care that much about Xbox, honestly. Wii U, I haven't really ever delved into any of the Nintendo products. It's always been an Xbox PS4 thing for me. And no, not PC, Master Race, because I don't have an apartment big enough to even put a PC in, and I am not gaming on a laptop. That would get old so fast. Will you review Kimbra's new album? I said I would, and I'm still planning on doing that, but honestly, dude, the song 90s Music killed my hype for this album. Absolutely killed it. I think that song is fucking terrible. Music video is weird, the song's terrible. Just a terrible single. There's two other songs that I heard that I thought were pretty good off of it, but I just haven't listened to it yet. I just haven't given a shit. I've been listening to old ass shit. I've been listening to the American Graffiti soundtrack, if that tells you anything. If you've ever seen the movie American Graffiti, the soundtrack to that is fucking boss. Check out that shit. I also have a vinyl copy of Beatles Rock and Roll Music on the way. Actually, let me show you one more thing. My friend Charlie picked up this album and he was nice enough to give it to me. I gave him IOU, said I would pay him for it. But he went ahead and let me have it anyway. Steve Miller Band's Fly Like an Eagle. This is one amazing album. It's got the biggest hits on it, Rockin' Me and Take the Money and Run, obviously, and Fly Like an Eagle. Man, those that's a beautiful like keyboard line and shit in that song. This album is perfect, dude. Even the deep cuts on it, you know, fucking awesome. Sounds great on vinyl. So yeah, recent purchase there. Hey, you're my favorite sub. I create music myself using samples and MPK Mini. You got me into Gorillaz, and what I ask is this: what person do you want Gorillaz to collaborate with in their hopefully upcoming album in 2015? If you answer, you'll become my only subscriber. Oh, come on, man. You can't just subscribe to me. Thank you, though. I don't know. If Gorillaz collaborated with somebody, I would like it to be someone who's like experimental and as crazy as them. I think Beck would be a pretty good collaborator with Gorillaz just because he's kind of into that weird, crazy stuff. Studio Killers obviously is another pick because they're also an animated band, and I just think seeing them interact in their two worlds together would just be really, really cool. Yeah, just an artist that's open to trying new things. You know, I feel like that would be a good pick for Gorillaz to collaborate with, and of course, you know, put Damon on vocals like all the time. Only have like the special guest star like sing a verse or so, because Gorillaz to me is so much like Damon's voice, 2D's voice, whatever you want to say. That's why I was a little bit disappointed in the song "Do Ya Thing" that they released at the beginning of 2012, because I was like, Damon only has like 2 verses in that song, and the rest of it is that James Murphy guy and Andre 3000, which I personally thought Damon should have sang more on that track, but that's just my personal opinion. I just like Gorillaz' voice to be Damon, and for him to take up the majority of song time. That's it. Seeing another of these Q&As videos of yours actually made me think and decide to make one for my own channel. Yeah, I went and watched that, but I do not speak a lick of Spanish, so I am sorry. I I couldn't understand a word you were saying. So taking this into account, do you think that you have some kind of influence on your audience? You mean like the Spanish-speaking audience? I don't know. I mean, I do think that's really cool that I do have somebody from South America who subscribed to me, and that I talk to and do influence. I hope I have an influence on outside cultures and stuff like that. You know, I just give my personal opinions on certain artists that I like and albums that I'm enjoying, and things that I think people should be listening to if they're not listening to them yet. And you know, that's just what I do, man. And I hope that even cultures who maybe aren't listening to this stuff, or however you want to put it, really, they find it and they enjoy it themselves. And even though it's music related, have you ever heard of any Spanish-speaking rock bands, especially from Latin American countries like mine, Argentina? Not really. I haven't really, well, what was that one band from a long ago? Los Lobos, or something like that. I don't know. If you want to give me some suggestions of some artists to check out, send them my way. I'd like to check that out, you know? Hell, I'll try out about anything, unless it's like heavy metal, because I just feel like it all kind of resonates in the same boat, really. Unless the heavy metal incorporates some other instrument or is kind of epic sounding in a way. Nightwish is a good example of that, but whatever. Just send it my way. Will you review the upcoming Julian Casablancas album? Probably not. I'm not even a huge fan of the Strokes, honestly. Thoughts on death and black metal? Well, I just kind of said it just a second ago. I hate it. I don't like it. There's nothing redeeming about that music to me. It's all like, I know the point of it. I understand the point of it. It's supposed to just get that rage out, you know. Just supposed to be like really hard, really just fist pumping, just strong as hell. I'm just more of a fan of the emotional side of things, I guess, more than I am the rage. Something about music that kind of moves me in a way that's makes me think, or just gives chills down my spine, something like that. I'm more into music that does that to me, and I don't know. I just think it's a bunch of noise. I don't know. No offense. If you like it, that's good for you. Why is there a picture of you in my textbook? Holy shit, you guys. Okay. I am so putting this picture in the video. Yeah, that does kind of look like me, especially when I was younger. You put me in a hat. I am saving this picture right now. In Spanish. That is amazing. Dude, thanks for finding that. That's fucking funny. Alright. Let's move on here. Favorite grunge band? Thoughts on Audioslave and favorite game? I've heard of Audioslave. I haven't really listened to them though. Favorite grunge band? I'm not really huge into grunge, but I really like like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam, like the album 10. I'm not really a huge fan of either of those bands really, but I like them. Oh, and my favorite game? Oh, shit. I really liked Red Dead Redemption a whole lot a few years ago. I would non-stop play Red Dead Redemption all the time. Recently, it's been Grand Theft Auto 5, probably, honestly. I've already pre-ordered my copy for PS4. Oh, I cannot wait to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS4. It's going to be beautiful. I've got a few favorite games. The first Jak and Daxter game for PS2. Jak and Daxter was my favorite franchise on the PS2 days. I loved all three of them. That's why I got the remastered collection for PS3. Love it. What is your 10 favorite songs from Green Day, and what's your favorite Green Day album? For me, it's Rusty James, Boulevard Broken Dreams, Walking Contradiction, The Forgotten, Basket Case, American Idiot, Stick Breath, 86, Longview, Jesus of Suburbia. It's funny you put Jesus of Suburbia at number 1 because I think that is also my favorite Green Day song out of everything they've done. Just because I think the opera feel of that song is something different, and it also just the different melodies between all the parts of that song are just perfect. You know, it's so powerful, so intriguing. Lyrics are just amazing on that song. The lyrics are just amazing. So yeah, Jesus of Suburbia, definitely I would put that at number 1 myself. Oh my God, 10 favorite Green Day songs. Gotta love these lists. I think somebody actually further down the line here asked me an unlimited version of my favorite Green Day songs. So I'll get back to that question, just hang tight. Have you ever been accused of being a hipster? I am very often, and I don't do anything a hipster does. What do you think the definition of a hipster is? There's many definitions of what a hipster is. People have different varying degrees of hipsterisms. I personally have never really been called a hipster because I do enjoy bands like Green Day, for example, the Beatles. I enjoy Green Day and the Beatles. Those two are actually top tier favorite band shit for me. I like Blur, Gorillaz. I like a whole lot of mainstream stuff. So that kind of defeats my hipsterism right there, just because I enjoy those bands. But I also enjoy underground bands too, like Caravan Palace, Deerhoof, Mute Math. I kind of bounce back and forth between the mainstream and underground, and I think that kind of kills my hipsterism. I also think another definition of a hipster is someone who doesn't enjoy mainstream ass movies that normal culture generally loves. Everybody in the world loves The Wizard of Oz, for example. And if I sat here and said The Wizard of Oz is a piece of shit, or if I said Forrest Gump is a piece of shit, if I hated culturally acclaimed huge ass fucking great movies, that would kind of make me a little bit of a hipster. If I said here that I only enjoy foreign films and shit like that with subtitles and junk, which isn't true. I mean, I guess a little bit of me as a hipster because I don't enjoy the superhero movies that come out every fucking year. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I went and saw it just because the world said it was the best thing in the world, and I did have fun watching that movie. But I don't like the Avengers. I don't like Man of Steel. I don't give a fuck about Captain America. What the fuck? I don't care about the lore of those movies. I don't care about the storyline. I actually tried to watch The Avengers when it popped up on Netflix, and I didn't understand a fuck what was going on. All I saw was Samuel L. Jackson in an eye patch. I don't know who the fuck that is. I know I'm supposed to. I don't give a shit about those movies. I don't give a fuck about the Transformers movies. I only saw the first one because Megan Fox's sweet ass was in it. And honestly, after I saw the first Transformers, I didn't give a fuck about seeing any more. I didn't give a shit. You know, I just, those movies are all fucking garbage, man. Why can't we get some original ideas? Like when Cowboys vs. Aliens came out, I was actually interested in that because it sounded like, ooh, here's something that hasn't really been done to death before. I also enjoy like more like human-driven stories, like The Last of Us, for example, on PS4. I enjoy the fuck out of The Last of Us because it's a human-driven story with a whole lot of emotion, really movie tie-in bullshit. Destiny. Everybody is hyping the fuck out of Destiny, and I've been seeing the review scores. Not many people like Destiny that much, or they're a little bit disappointed with Destiny. I didn't give a shit about Destiny. When I saw the previews for that, I just thought to myself, wow, look, a Halo clone. And a whole lot of people have compared it to that, and it's a little bit like Borderlands. I have not played Destiny. I don't care to play Destiny. I'm just looking forward to the Order 1886 because, once again, that sounds like an original idea. A video game set in Victorian London in 1886. How many games come out that setting? I don't know many. Will rock music ever return to its glory days of chart-topping awesomeness? I sadly do not think so. Unless the music industry has like a total change of where we're doing things for music more than we are for money and pop stars and shit like that, then I honestly don't ever see it coming back. You have these artists that just kind of come and go now, you know? Everything is kind of just a fad in music. Nothing is around. Nothing gets created to stick anymore, really, especially in the mainstream. It just gets created to push out there for you to enjoy for a little bit until the next thing comes along, you know? It's just my personal opinion. What's your PSN name, and are you a Simpsons fan? My PSN name is Murdoch is God, 1990. It's a song by the Gorillaz. It's not sacrilege. It's just capital M, Murdoch, M-U-R-D-O-C-I-S, capital G-O-D, 1990, the year I was born, all together. Murdoch is God, 1990. Find me! I got a few spots open. Even though I don't play with you guys a whole lot, I get invites a whole lot of the time, but usually it's because I'm watching Netflix or something and my girlfriend's here and I just can't. I can't flip off Netflix to play games with you guys. But still, add me if you want. Opinions on religion, political views. These questions always pop up in Q&As. Like, I just have like a personal belief, in my opinion, that nobody can like prove God is there and nobody can disprove He's there. I know this religion seems like kind of a cop-out, but there's just been certain things that happen where it'll be like, okay, if God really existed, that wouldn't happen. You know? Certain terrible things wouldn't happen in the world if God was really there and was listening or whatever. But at the same time, there's people out there whose faith is so strong that I can't help but believe sometimes. So just, I'm very misogynistic. I just have no idea. I have no idea if God is there or not. I don't go to church. I don't pray. I'm very non-religious, and my belief is just simply, I don't know. I don't know if He's there or not. You know. The belief of like ghosts and shit that I have kind of helps that maybe there is one. But I don't know. Somebody asked me that question further down the line, so hang on a second. And my political views is I think both sides are fucked up. You got the liberals and the conservatives. There's certain things that I agree with on both sides of the fence. I know some people, conservatives for example, I live in North Carolina. Okay, we are a red state. The majority of this state absolutely fucking hates Obama. We are Republican motherfuckers. there's certain things, like with social issues, especially with Republicans, that why do we care about the fucking like gay rights thing? For example, I personally think gays should be able to get married, because what the fuck difference does it make to me if gays get married? If two gay guys get married, the world is not going to collapse around me, and it's not going to affect me. As long as nobody's trying to butt fuck me, I do not give a shit what they do. So I think, yeah, legalize the fuck out of that. That's the liberal side of me. Where I believe that it's okay for gays to get married. The gun rights thing, I can't even really decide what's best for that. So yeah, I just think both sides are a little fucked up in certain ways. I don't know, I guess I'm a hint more liberal, but not much. Because even myself, I'm not a fan of Obama either. He just hasn't done anything, really, it seems like. I don't know. Do you like Arctic Monkeys? I've only heard a couple of songs for them that I enjoyed very much, but what do you think of them? I heard a little bit of AM, but that's about all I've heard from Arctic Monkeys, and I didn't even think it was that great. I didn't even really enjoy that single that much. Favorite Linkin Park song or Pentatonic song? Pentatonics, I will say, that Daft Punk melody, medley, whatever. I think that Daft Punk thing, that was great. That was great. Pentatonics, man, they got a voice. Favorite Linkin Park song? Breaking the Habit was the song that got me into Linkin Park. I saw the music video for that song, and I just thought the artwork and shit was amazing for it. I'd probably have to say Numb or something off of Meteora, though, because Meteora is, I think, my favorite album from them still. Even though I think The Hunting Party from this year was fantastic. Favorite actor and actress? Oh, shit. Well, I will say that Johnny Depp, for me, just because he has this ability to like flip roles so easily. Johnny Depp is a really good varied actor. I mean, I know he gets stuck in like everything Tim Burton does recently, and he kind of acts the same around those movies. But yeah, you know, from like Public Enemies to Pirates of the Caribbean, to The Ninth Gate. If you haven't seen The Ninth Gate, that's a really underrated a Johnny Depp movie. You should check that out. Favorite actress? I'm a little bit more difficult on this one. She's not my favorite actress per se, but I really like Natalie Portman just because I personally think she's hot. I'm really into like that girl next door kind of look, and Natalie Portman kind of has it. Keira Knightley too, from Pirates of the Caribbean. She's pretty hot. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just going by like actress wise. I'm not really sure about. I just go by actresses that I think are pretty. I'm shallow like that, I guess. Best and worst live show that you've ever seen. The best live show that I ever saw was Green Day's American Idiot tour back in 2005. I'll never forget that. Gorillaz are a close second, just because I'll probably never be able to see the Gorillaz ever again. Gorillaz were a one-time thing that I'm thankful that a fan such as myself was happy to see. I'm just glad I got to do that before I die. You know, I can say that I have seen Gorillaz in concert. And when I went and saw Damon this past June, that was amazing. Because I literally was like right up at the stage where I could touch Damon. Damon touched me. Damon grabbed my hand as he was singing Tomorrow Comes Today, and that was amazing. And I personally think his album from this year is fucking great too. The worst live show easily though is when I was dragged to go see Escape the Fate. That was fucking terrible because the two bands before him were this screaming, screamo, hardcore, what the fuck. Motionless in White was one of the bands, and I don't know the other one's name. Escape the Fate was pretty good, but the bands that I had to see beforehand and sit through 30 minutes of non-stop breathe, breathe. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. Easily the worst thing ever. Muse was also pretty fucking kick-ass too, from last September. And Queens of the Stone Age. Hard to pick, man. Still Green Day, but there's other great shows in there too. Are you a Blink-182 fan? Not really. I mean, like, I do like Blink-182, but I'm not going to consider myself a fan by any means. I think they're a tiny bit overrated, honestly. I just think there's better, like, punkish type things to listen to, I guess. Did you play South Park The Stick of Truth, and what did you think of it? South Park The Stick of Truth, I still own that for my PS3. I love that fucking game. It's so funny. Me and my friends actually came over and we all played it together, and we beat the entire game together because, like, that game is honestly like watching an entire season of South Park. And it's just so easy, you know? The game is fucking funny as hell. The combat is fun. The outfits that you could dress up your little character in is really fun to customize that. Meeting the characters, doing the side quests, it's all just a blast. The game is great. I wish it was longer. I hope they do another game like that. But yeah, South Park Stick of Truth, fucking awesome game. One of my favorites, honestly. I still play the hell out of that. I might do a Let's Play of that. Speaking of that, the Let's Play channel is still in fruition. My friends actually got a, one of my friends got an Elgato capture card, and he said he's going to let me borrow it. So I'm going to have to play through like 2 games, though, before I upload any videos, because it's not mine. I'm going to have to give it back to him. So I'm just going to have to play enough games where I can upload enough content for it to be worth it. So keep a lookout for that. What's better, The Wall or Dark Side of the Moon? I'm impartial to Dark Side of the Moon, just because there's some songs on The Wall that I don't care that much about. Dark Side of the Moon is perfect, though. Classic album. Love listening to that every once in a while, you know? Dark Side of the Moon is just timeless. Way ahead of its time, too, for when it was made. That thing still sounds modern, you know? Love it. It's perfect. You fapped to those nude leaks of Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Upton, and others, didn't you? Admit it. I definitely found the fappening folder. I definitely downloaded that shit for sure, and I looked at them. Yeah, Kate Upton is not as hot as I thought she was, though, after I saw her titties. They were like lopsided or some shit. I'd still fuck the hell out of that. I'm just saying that she's not as good looking as she is in close. I feel weird saying that. Just honest opinion. Just honest opinion. Yeah, her titties look lopsided. Jennifer Lawrence nudes, those were pretty hot, though. Yeah, the Jennifer Lawrence nudes, they were pretty hot. Yeah, loved those. I can't really fap to pictures, though, just because I guess I'm just a new age kid. I have to watch, like, a video to get off. I can't really fap to pictures. Shit needs to be moving, or something needs to be happening for me, personally. But, yeah, I looked at that shit. Damn proud of it. And, yeah, it turned me on a little bit, but I didn't fap to them. I had to flip over to some video to get off, but... Oh, so weird. Oh, damn, I just had a question pop up here. I don't know where. Oh, shit. A question popped up while I was in the mid of making the question answer video. I guess I'll go ahead and answer this one really quick. What did you think of the whole Green Day are not real punk argument, and did you listen to Mac DeMarco? And can you review some of his albums? I listened to the newest Mac DeMarco album, DeMarco. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I saw Needle Drop's review of it. It was a little weird. It was a little left bass, but I liked the first song on it really good. I do need to listen to more of his stuff, but yeah, I've heard of him and I've listened to the newest album. And what do you think of the whole Green Day are not punk argument? I can understand how people are saying that, just because I know that, especially on Uno Dos and Trey, they went a little bit more pop punk, and 21st Century Breakdown and American Idiot are both rock operas. But they started out as a core punk band, you know, with albums like Kerplunk and Dookie especially. And I don't know. I know the band themselves still considers themselves punk. And I guess they're still tons of punk elements throughout those other albums. Even in Uno Dos and Trey, there's some that are a little bit more less poppy than others, you know. But yeah, I still personally consider Green Day punk, just because, you know, that elements are still in there. They're just not as strong as they used to be when they first started, I guess. But I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion, you know. I just I don't want to. I don't know. Just think whatever you think, you know. As long as you're a fan of Green Day, I don't care. What's the best roller coaster you've ever been on? This one's easy. The Led Zeppelin. Yeah, this was a real roller coaster. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a long time ago, when I was a kid, me and Danielle were first like in our second year of dating. I was still in high school. They were building an amusement park called Hard Rock Amusement Park, based upon the, you know, like the Hard Rock Hotel, the Hard Rock restaurants, which I love to go to. Love the music videos that they play in there and stuff. But they were building an amusement park based on that, and the main attraction they had there was a ride called the Led Zeppelin. And what it was you got into the cart, and as it was going around, A Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin would be playing in the little thing that you're riding in. And so, like, when you climb up the hill, what man you need? And then you get to the top, and at that moment where you're going over the hill, it would be that part where Robert Plant's like, and you're fucking like going around really fast after you do that drop. It's just so adrenaline-inducing, and it was fucking awesome. But the ticket prices were way too fucking high, and they went out of business within the first year. It's sad. It's really sad, because that could have been something fucking awesome. Because that ride was sick. And it was really fucking cool to listen to Led Zeppelin as you were in a roller coaster. It's fucking badass. They had another one called Life in the Fast Lane, which was basically just a wooden-ass roller coaster, except Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles are playing as your... Great idea. And they had another one where it was like this weird fucking like Ferris wheel thing, but the thing were like cars. They were like little plastic cars that you would sit in. And Cars by Gary Newman would play. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. It was a good idea. It was really fucking cool. But, you know, never came to fruition, sadly. Your favorite Linkin Park songs. No top, just give me your favorite songs from every album and your favorite TV shows or movies. Alright, well, favorite TV shows. I don't watch a shit ton of TV shows. I get a whole lot of hate for that at work, especially, because everybody's talking about all these new shows that come out. And let's start over here. That 70s Show, first of all. People say I look a whole lot like Topher Grace, Eric, from That 70s Show. I love That 70s Show. I think it's fucking funny as hell. The soundtracks are great that went along with that show, by the way, just because I like 70s music. The Walking Dead, Orange is the New Black, and Breaking Bad. I would watch Breaking Bad like fucking 4 times in a row. Like, I've watched it like twice, the whole series, and I would watch it a 3rd time. I love Breaking Bad, and I cannot fucking wait for Better Call Saul in February. I will be watching that shit like crazy. Those are my favorite TV shows. Favorite movies? There's a lot of favorite movies. I guess the standard Star Wars and Indiana Jones sagas. School of Rock, National Treasure, Dazed and Confused, that's pretty fucking awesome. The movie Mud with Matthew McConaughey, it's on Netflix, you should watch it. It's really, really good. I really dig Simon Pegg movies. I think he's a really good actor, so Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. I didn't like The World's End that much, but I really liked Run, Fat Boy, Run. That one's really fucking good. I Love You, Man. This Is the End. I really like Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, those guys, James Franco. They're all really fucking funny to me. Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I really like that. Superbad. Superbad is fucking awesome. I like Michael Cera. Juno, speaking of that. I see a whole lot of myself in Michael Cera, honestly. And I really like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Damn, there's a lot of movies I like. Okay, favorite Linkin Park songs. Let me just go get the whole discography. That'll be easier for me. I like these questions that don't give me a limit. Because then I feel like I can give a better answer when I can just give you as many songs as possible. Okay. Paper Cut, One Step Closer, Crawling, Runaway. Runaway is my favorite song on this album, I believe. In the End, Cure for the Itch, Pushing Me Away. The whole album, really. This entire album, because it's my favorite Linkin Park album, I love this whole thing, so put all the songs on this album in that order on the list. I really like Give It Up, Leave Out All the Rest, Bleed It Out, What I've Done. This album was kind of lame, in my personal opinion. I like In Between, In Pieces, and Little Things Give You Away. Majority of this album I don't really like, though, honestly. I thought this was a big fucking step back. Every single song on 1,000 Suns, except for The Messenger, which I still regard as their worst song ever that they've ever written. They ruined the last minute of this album with that song. But 1,000 Suns, love it from beginning to end, except for The Messenger. Turn this shit off after the Catalyst is over. Shit, put this entire album on there. I love Living Things from beginning to end, honestly. It's pretty fucking great. And put all of the Hunting Party on there, well, because I think this is a fucking rockin', fucking great album, great flow. Put the whole thing on there. So yeah, put the entirety of Living Things, The Hunting Party, 1,000 Suns, except for The Messenger, and Meteor on there, and you have my favorite Linkin Park songs. Hard to pick that, huh? Favorite Dead Kennedys album, I would definitely have to say Fresh Fruits for Rotting Vegetables, just because, you know, raw punk energy. Then my favorite Ramones album, the self-titled or Rocket to Russia, I guess. Once again, just because of the raw punk energy of both of those albums. Favorite Coldplay album. Oh, shit. It was originally Viva La Vida. Just because, like, I also really enjoy what's regarded as their best album, A Rush of Blood to the Head. There's like that track listing, man, that's pretty fucking awesome. But honestly, there's some songs on there I don't like as good. So I would definitely have to say either Viva La Vida or the newest one, Ghost Stories, quite honestly. Ghost Stories is great from beginning to end. I know some people hate it, but I love Ghost Stories. It's one of my favorite albums of the year, honestly. Least favorite is easily Milo X Ioto still. Like, there's songs that I like from it, but the flow is terrible, and there's more songs that I skip on it than I actually enjoy. I thought Milo X Ioto was quite a dud, honestly, but Paradise and Teardrop of the Waterfalls, great. Song Major Minus is pretty good, too. Thoughts on ghosts or demons? Have you ever had an encounter with a ghost? What male Hollywood star would you say you have a man crush on if you had to pick one? Finally, penis size. Is it about girth or the length? I figured I'd give some interesting topics to work off of. Okay, thoughts on ghosts or demons? I do personally believe in ghosts and stuff like that. I love watching, like, ghost hunting TV shows. I think they're pretty entertaining. And I have made a short film with my friend Matthew on this subject about local, like, ghost stories around my my hometown. There was a local artist who actually wrote books upon hauntings in my area, and me and my friend went and checked them out. This was a long time ago. We made this movie. It wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, and no, we never really caught anything on camera, but it was still fun to do. And no, I sadly have not had an encounter with a ghost, even though I'm not sure if I would say sadly, because I think I would shit myself. But no. What male Hollywood star would you say you have a man crush on if you had to pick one? I like 1990s Pierce Brosnan. I like it, yeah, like that damn volcano movie he was in, and Mrs. Doubtfire. That Pierce Brosnan. Not the older November Man, fucking Pierce Brosnan. He even looked pretty good in Die Another Day, I thought. I like him, and I like Johnny Depp. I think everybody wants to be Johnny Depp. Penis size is about girth or length. I don't know why you're asking me this question, because I'm not gay, so I don't really have a... I mean, like, to a woman, I suppose it's a little bit of a combination of both. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Favorite old school console once growing up? I actually had a Sega Genesis. I would play Jurassic Park and Aladdin and there's a few other games. Sonic the Hedgehog. I had that game for it. Yeah, I loved the old Sega Genesis. God, that brings back memories, especially the Jurassic Park where you could play as Alan Grant or the Raptor. That was fun. Worst Gorillaz song. Mine is Glitter Freeze, and that's the only Gorillaz song I don't like, and I've heard almost all the songs, but what's your least favorite track of theirs? I can definitely understand why you would say Glitter Freeze. I think it's pretty fucking cool, though. I think it's a cool little instrumental break in the album, or whatever. And it was really good to hear live, too, by the way. I don't know if this counts because it's off of D-Sides, but film trailer music? That song just kind of it's kind of a big nothing. It's kind of like a demo track of something that Damon was going to put together and then he just didn't use. But that one still kind of sucks. Trying to think, what else? What other song do I not? Double Bass can be a little bit boring at times off of the debut album. There's nothing off of Demon Days. Oh yeah, those two, I guess. I like a shit ton more Gorillaz songs than I don't, so. What do you think about progressive music? Have you heard of a band called Dream Theater, and will you buy GTA 5 on PS4 when it gets out? Do you think I'm cool? I like progressive music. If you haven't heard Mute Math's Odd Soul album, definitely take a listen to Mute Math's most recent album, Odd Soul. It's like 70s progressive rock, and it's fucking sick. Have you heard of the band Dream Theater? Yeah, I've heard of Dream Theater. I've actually owned a Dream Theater album before. I think I actually gave it to my dad for his birthday because Dad was a fan of like harder type music. My dad really enjoys bands like Theory of a Dead Man and Five Finger Death Punch and shit like that. He likes to listen to that shit when he works out. And so yeah, I gave him my copy of my Dream Theater album. I can't remember which one I had. When you buy GTA 5 on PS4 when it gets out, I've already pre-ordered it, and it better be fucking day one shipping from the Rockstar warehouse. They did it right when I ordered my special edition for PS3, because I pre-ordered that from the GTA, from the warehouse, the Rockstar warehouse, and they did get it to me on the first day it came out. So, as long as they can do that again, I'm perfectly happy. And do you think I'm cool? Fuck yeah, I think you're cool. I still remember the first thing you sent to me about me wanting to review Slippery When Wet by Bon Jovi. I'll never forget that. Your profile picture helps me remember you, though. Why do priests touch my no-nos? Are you Catholic? Oh! I don't know, man. I don't know what the stereotype is with that. You know, why do priests fill up their choir boys or whatever? Oh, whatever. What are your favorite albums on the moment? What albums do you have on repeat? Well, I really like the new Death from Above 1979. I've been listening to that over and over again. And most recently, I've been listening to these a whole lot. Uno, Dos, and Trey from Green Day. Still love the hell out of those albums. I've mostly been listening to like compilation things though, like various artist type compilations. I've been playing this a whole lot on the turntable. Jack White's Lazaretto, which is possibly still one of my favorite albums of the year. Jack White's Lazaretto is fucking perfect. I love it so much. So yeah, those. And also a shit ton of 70s and 50s and 60s music. Just various artists from those days, because I have a whole playlist in my iTunes devoted to 50s, 60s, and 70s. That entire playlist is like better than half the shit that you hear today. I'm not even fucking kidding. It is so amazing. I can't even listen to like mainstream radio without thinking to myself, man, I could be listening to some fucking 50s, 60s, and 70s music and have a whole lot more fun listening to that than this. Anyway, why did you fall out with your roommate? Are you going to start a vinyl collection like your CD collection? Have you heard of the Vaccines or Jake Bugg, and what do you think of them? What is the most expensive CD and record you own? And finally, what do you think of George Harrison's solo career? Why did I fall out with my roommate? This has been like 2 years ago now. I lived in a whole other apartment before that whole fallout. But we just basically had a different idea of like what respect means. Like he brought over his like entire fucking school class one night to hang out in the living room when I was in my bedroom, just trying to watch TV in there. And I don't know what made him think that was okay to do. I mean, like, he needs to understand that when you're living with 2 other people, you have to think of that other person. You can't do that. Go to one of their houses if you want to take over fucking 20 kids to one house. Idiot. That, and we just had different ideas about, like, how things should be done, I guess. I don't know, he just hangs around and sits on his ass all the time, and I'm going to work 5 days a week, and he thinks he should be... I don't know, it's just stupid, retarded shit. We both were kind of wrong in certain areas, but he's too stubborn to admit that he was wrong in certain things. What the fuck ever. It's been over 2 years ago, I'm over it, and he's over it, so what the hell ever. I still don't really like him, though. I still think back to certain things that make me think, man, why was I ever even friends with this asshole? I mean, he's just a selfish, narcissistic jerk who loves himself too fucking much. I think if you guys watch his videos, you can tell that too, honestly. Are you going to start a vinyl collection like your CD collection? It's way harder for me to start a vinyl collection because vinyl is so much more expensive than CDs. There are quite a few vinyls that I'm looking for at the moment, but just can't find. I've been finding them on eBay. I actually bought a copy of Beatles Rock and Roll Music. I think I might have said that earlier in the video. You should check out that little compilation. It's on YouTube. It's just like every single like rock song that the Beatles have done. It's like if you're gonna go back to that classic argument, Beatles versus Rolling Stones, use that album because it's the album that contains most of the Beatles like fast tempo rock guitar songs. There's obviously not a whole lot of things past the Revolver album on there because that's when they decided to go all psychedelic and trippy. But it's a really fucking cool compilation. Shit tons of songs on it. It's great. It's like a 2 LP set, both sides just stacked with songs. Cannot wait to get it. Have you heard of the Vaccines or Jake Bugg, and what do you think of them? I've heard of the Vaccines, haven't really listened to them, and I've heard of Jake Bugg, and I appreciate the fact that he's trying to like revive the old sound of music. He sounds a whole lot like Bob Dylan to me, personally. He's cool, I'm just not really a fan of either, I guess, which is weird because if I like old music so much, I should like Jake Bugg. I don't know. I'd rather just listen to the old stuff. What's the most expensive CD and record you own? I think the most expensive CD I own is a copy of the Beatles' White Album. That cost me $30, I think, for that one CD. It's 2 CDs, but 1 album. And most expensive record I own. Oh, shit. I think I paid like $25 for my my Abbey Road copy, the new stereo version, and I also bought a copy of Thick Freakness from the Black Keys on vinyl. Both brand new vinyls, so they were a little bit more expensive. Nothing too outrageous though. I don't have like a vinyl box set or anything like that I've spent like $300 some on. But my God, somebody, please, somebody on the internet right now, if you have just $400 laying around and you're just feeling generous, can somebody please fucking buy me the Beatles in mono box set? I want that Beatles in mono box set so damn bad, and all I would need to get is a copy of Let It Be on vinyl, and I would have every Beatles album on vinyl. I'm not going to count the Yellow Submarine soundtrack. That would be the only one I'm missing, but I don't really care about having the B-side to that record because I already have it on CD. And you see, the Passmasters version in this mono box set has the A-side from the Yellow Submarine on it. So I still get It's All Too Much, Hey Bulldog, Only a Northern Song, Yellow Submarine. I still get those songs from the A-side of that album, so I don't really care to have a vinyl copy of Yellow Submarine soundtrack. Other than that, I would have every fucking Beatles album on vinyl, and oh my God, I want it so bad. Alright. And what do I think of George Harrison's solo career? I enjoyed All Things Must Pass. That's about the only solo Beatles album that I've listened to. Solo George Harrison album I've listened to. I really liked John Lennon and Paul McCartney's solo career so far. Band on the Run, and Paul McCartney's newest album, New, I thought was pretty good. I'm going to see him in October. Can't wait to make a video about that. Have you ever heard of a Japanese group called Perfume? Somebody else recommended this band to me when I was talking about Kairi Pamyu's newest album. Yeah, their producer is the same as Kairi Pamyu. Yeah, I need to listen to her, or them, I guess. I just haven't, but I've heard of them. Thank you. Xbox One or PS4? PS4. Once again, PS4 has better hardware and better exclusives. To me, personally. I don't get on the whole fucking space bullshit like Halo and Destiny. Just don't care. Since you have a CD collection, do you listen to your CDs by using a stereo, or do you rip your CDs onto your computer? It's a combination of both. I rip my CDs to my computer just so I can put them on my iPod so I can listen to all of my music in the car really easily so I don't have to carry a big fucking stack of CDs to my car. But other than in the car, when I'm at home, I always play it from a CD or a vinyl because I just prefer it that way. I like to listen to the album as the album was intended to be created. I don't like to put shit on shuffle. I just like to lay the CD in the tray, lay the vinyl on, and let it play in the order it was intended, and just appreciate the album in its entirety. That's just how I like to listen to my albums, just because I think it gives a better appreciation that way, other than just putting everything on fucking shuffle all the time. Sometimes I have to put things on shuffle for like friends or my girlfriend because they themselves prefer things to be a surprise. And you know, sometimes I prefer that too, but most of the time I like to listen to albums as they were intended. I always listen to my music on my CDs, though, when I'm at home by myself. What's your favorite porn category? I like straight porn. You know, like, I'm not gay or anything, but I do like big, hard-throbbing cock fucking somebody. That's pretty nice. And I'm also really into lesbian porn, being a straight male, just because, like chicks scissoring really fucking gets me off. I love chicks scissoring. Chicks scissoring is so hot to me. I know it's fake. I know that chicks don't really think that feels good. But still, it looks fucking hot watching them do it. Not even kidding. Love that shit. Both of those are really good. I also like, it's hard to explain. I also guess I like role-playing type things. Like, I enjoy the fucking, like, boss and secretary type bullshit, or the football player and the cheerleader type bullshit. I don't fucking know. Do you like Limp Bizkit or System of a Down? System of a Down. I keep on thinking about that fucking picture. It's like a kid with Down syndrome, and he's like playing up on a stage, and it's like System of a Downs. It's really offensive, but it's fucking funny. But no, I don't really like either of those bands. I like Chop Suey and, why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? BYOB. That's that song. What's your favorite and least favorite movies? I've already listed a few of my favorites. Some of my least favorite movies? Well, I've already kind of answered this question, really. I listed a few of my favorite movies earlier, but some of my least favorites are definitely those superhero and Transformers movies. Just fuck that shit. Simpsons or Futurama? I'd definitely say Simpsons, even though I don't really watch either of those shows. I know that's sacrilege to say. I used to watch a lot of Futurama, but I think it's... just think the Simpsons are funnier. What are the best alternative rock groups in your opinion? I don't really listen to a shit ton of alternative rock music. I don't know. Would you consider Foo Fighters alternative? I don't know. I don't know. Favorite artist and favorite band? Favorite artist is Damon Albarn, and favorite band bounces between Green Day, Gorillaz, and the Beatles, and Blur. Because I think all of those bands have a cool sound to them. I also really enjoy bands like Mute Math, for example, is a good example of a band who takes a whole lot of styles and kind of makes it their own. They're really cool. Would you rather have sex with a horse or eat your own shit? I honestly think I would fuck the horse. If the horse is fucking me, that's a bit of a difference. I don't think my asshole can go that wide. Best underground artist or bands? Hang on one second. Keep in mind that this list of artists and bands, underground artists and bands, is going to be just my opinion of things that I think are underground. So if you don't agree with something, sorry. First of all, Sufjan Stevens, his Michigan album especially, I think this is a pretty fucking awesome record. Not a whole lot of people have heard of him, I don't think, but I think this album is pretty special and uses a whole lot of live instrumentation. I don't think there's anything fake happening on this album, which is really cool, really underrated. Purity Rain Shrines, a dark-ass pop album. Air's Moon Safari, underrated. Squirrel Nut Zippers, pretty fucking awesome album from back in the day. My camera died, so if it's a little off skew, I'm sorry. Smokey and the Bandits debut. Check out all of these albums. The Deer Hunter Migrant, you guys got me into this guy. Shiny Toy Guns, We Are Pilots. Check out their entire discography, really. Mogwai, Rave Tapes, their new album from this year. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. Deerhoof, this is their old album breakup song. Rival Sons, Pressure in Time. The Avalanches, Since I Left You. Caravan Palace. Little Hurricane, their second album. They're great. And Emancipator. This is just my favorite Emancipator album. And for the US, I don't even care. I'm going to say Blur. Because Blur are really fucking underrated in the US. I'm sick of people only knowing the damn Woohoo song. They don't even know the title of the song. Fix that. Alright. And rank all of Green Day's albums from best to worst. I'm going to try to do this quickly because my camera is dying. This camera cannot take the awesomeness of this Q&A. All of Green Day's albums from best to worst. I've got my studio albums set right here with all of their albums in it. And try to rank this pretty quick for you guys. Okay, here's my list of Green Day's albums ranked from best to worst. Best, in my opinion, Nimrod. I love the energy of this album. I love the deep cuts of this album. I love the album's length. And I just think it's a fucking blast from beginning to end. Absolute one of my favorite things that they've released. It's a lot easier to get into. It's a little bit more punky. It's more punk music, but still has like that energetic, fun vibe to it. I just think it's a good combination of everything that Green Day's about. And love it from beginning to end. Next up is American Idiot. Just because it's obvious that this would have to be near the top. It's perfect. It's a classic album, one of the only albums from this generation that will be remembered 40 years down the line. Green Day's Dookie, just because it's a classic, and another album that will be remembered 40 years down the line, and one of the best punk albums ever recorded to go along with things like fucking Meet the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. Just, it's that classic and timeless for the 90s. Green Day's Dose, just because I love the stupid ass fucking fun party vibe lyrics and shit, and I just think it's great. Green Day's Uno, just a fresh pop taste, and I just love the trilogy, honestly. Yeah, Uno, I think it's great. It's a fun pop album, pop punk album, and yeah, it's great from beginning to end. 20th Century Breakdown, their next rock opera, and definitely not as good as American Idiot or the previous albums that I listed, but I still think it's great. I still think the songwriting is great, and it's got some fucking killer ass songs on it. Green Day's Kerplunk, their second album, which once again, just really fun fucking punk music, going back to that classic old style recording, just really raw and kick ass songs on it. What the fuck? Green Day's Trey, a little bit more atmospheric, a little bit more produced, some more instruments have added in there, but the song Dirty Rotten Bastards kind of brings it back into a Jesus of Suburbia type of song. I think it's great. Next up's Insomniac. I know a whole lot of people are screaming at me right now, but I just simply do not enjoy this album as much as the rest of the world, but it's really raw. It's one of Green Day's angriest and meanest albums that they've ever created, and it's great. Green Day's Warning, their most experimental work to date, but definitely has the least amount of songs that I consider to be wow. Like songs like Fashion Victim, for example. I don't think that's that great, but songs like Church on Sunday and Castaway I think are just classic. Awesome Green Day songs. Still love it. And last is 39 Smooth. I just do not give a shit much about this album, honestly. I mean, I really like At the Library and Don't Leave Me, and I Was There, Going to Pasalanca, and Why Do You Want Him? Paper Lanterns is pretty good too. Honestly, there's just more songs I would skip on this one, which is why it comes in last, but it's really hard for me to order Green Day albums because I love them all. That way there was just a really sorry-ass attempt at trying to order them, so sorry. Alright guys, well that's it for this Q&A. I don't know how long it turned out to be, but it felt long. We'll see after the editing is done. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll get back to reviewing the new Kimbra album if you just want me to so bad, and I'll talk about some other things that have been on my mind recently. So I'll see you guys hopefully sooner than 2 weeks, but hey, this is just what happens on this channel. I'm sorry. Love you guys. Mr. Mooney1235. See you guys later, and thank you for the new subscribers if you've been watching this entire time. Love to have you guys aboard. See you guys later.